Alright, welcome back to the Wildlands campaign, my friends. We had to take a week off due to illness, and we are down one player due to illness tonight. But we are getting on track with playing once more. So, last session, you got to experience the Enchantress's Obelisk, the floating tower. Where you now, where you still are, having gotten some of your rescued friends, the slaves that you rescued from the bandit moot, settled, then gone to dinner, at which the Enchantress did not appear. Airy is how she introduced herself. And you were then called away from the sumptuous dinner to deal with a problem which you had to fight, which surprised you all, until you realized that there were these little magic consuming humanoid faces flying around the workshop level of the tower, which you then traced to this monster among rows of monstrosities within these small glass domes. And the monster, this thing's going to be sending these faces out through the cracks. You fought this battle with the help of several people you have found in the obelisk. Dawn Winterborn, Adri Fasharish, Dara Kithreth, and Vidania Galanadel are the ones that you spoke to at the dinner. During this combat, you discovered that the male human, seemed to have powers somewhat similar to Equitas, or at least in a similar style. And we pick up as you have passed through the room full of stars and starlight, and into the long chamber with the glass domes, each containing a different monster.
Did the thing we are seeing in front of us, did it speak to us? I don't recall.
It has on its green carapace humanoid faces, which have appeared as the creatures it sent out as emissaries have brought back some arcane energy to it. And these faces have now appeared on the carapace as it absorbed them. And with these faces, it spoke to you in this wheezing chorus, saying, "Feed me!"
How about we...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, keep going.
You could hear it through the crack in the glass.
So it's a physical voice, not a mental voice.
Exactly.
How about we don't?
That was my thinking.
Yeah, just leave him there.
So, what if we Alright, I'm gonna look around for the male human, Dom, or Don.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say, hey, you do research in this laboratory, correct?
This is the guy with the half mechanical mustache, isn't that right?
Yes.
That you were trying to talk to?
Yes.
And he says, yes, I do research here in the laboratory, and we had to rescue my work, for which I am very grateful, my lady.
Yes. Would you happen to know if there was such a thing as like a cement or a universal sealant or something that's good at like patching up big cracks in glass available here?
Yes, I believe that there is actually a kind of a special alchemist's glue.
Excellent. We will need all of it.
Oh, I don't know if that will be necessary. Perhaps a small amount will serve the purpose. If I'm guessing correctly, that you wish to repair the little crack here.
Yes, that's correct.
Probably, this is a powerful material, and we do not want to be wearing thin our hostess patience. Yes.
Right. Well, you're the expert here, so I'll trust whatever your opinion is on the subject.
I
But
shall return momentarily. And he runs off to right up the stairs to the workshop to grab something from a table if anyone goes to look.
I guess I'll go with them. I certainly don't want to be around them.
Okay.
I'm gonna make sure none of the faces come back out.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check for me. Sorry, I went through every edition in my head there real quick. Spot, notice, perception.
Was that for breath?
For breath,
Are you saying for me to check to make sure
Perception.
nothing's coming out?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's a 15.
Okay. You're watching carefully, and this creature it can barely move inside of its clear prison. And it seems almost like it's shifting around, and you watch as one of its chitinous limbs massages its thorax, as though assisting in some kind of digestion.
I don't know why it wants us to feed it. It looks like it already ate.
Bella, you go off with that guy. And so, as soon as you two pass through the chamber full of stars and around the corner, this creature puts one of its limbs forward, and the rest of its limbs do a kind of a complicated, shifting, squirmy dance inside of the dome. And it casts a spell through the crack in the glass.
This is fine.
No way this could go bad.
So I'm going to ask, yeah, the cone is going to get all of you, except for Bella.
Yay!
I am going to ask you all to make a wisdom saving throw, please. As a rush of skeletal faces come flashing at you out of the dark.
This looks familiar.
I did very bad.
Okay. And I'll roll for the NPCs.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
only seem to have the half-orc there, but there should be one more person. There he is.
Somebody need to roll for Mavra.
Oh, yes. Can you run Mavra tonight?
Oh, yeah. Can you give me access to her sheet?
You don't have access?
I mean, I would have to get the other computer out.
Oh, I see. Hang on. Alright, you can now mess up her character to your heart's content.
I mean, okay, here we go. Wisdom.
Boy, the NPCs did not roll well.
Yeah, Mavra is a 17.
Okay. So, Bref. Did you ever watch the Fantasia Night on Bald Mountain as a kid?
Yep.
Do you remember that feeling of raw fear and not quite being able to understand what's going on, except that it was scary?
Now, see, for me, that was when we went to see We're Back in theaters, and Dr. Screw-Eye got eaten alive by his crows.
Well, that's exactly how Bref feels. And
It's a good scary moment.
You are going to have to turn tail and run.
Oh no. Bye-bye, barbarian.
So Bref comes running up past you, Bella. Ah! However, the rest of you resist this frightening magic.
Bref, wait, no! Okay.
And the creature shifts and looks at you guys and says, No. No fix. Feed.
Listen, when something that looks as creepy as you says to feed it, specifically magic, I get a little worried.
You can see these glowing runes pulsing around the base of the dome. And they seem to run off and feed into some kind of inscriptions on the walls in this traveling glow. Quite swiftly, you, Bella, you run up with the guy. He grabs something from the nearest table, and you see the bottle is marked Sovereign Glue.
Awesome. All right. I guess we'll start heading back.
You run back to the area just in time. Bref, you're going to get to make a new save. Just in time to get blasted by another cone. So everyone's going to need to make a new save.
Nope.
As it waves its chitinous arms, seeing you guys run up with the Sovereign Glue.
I'm guessing Mavra's 9 also does not cut it.
No. But yeah, oh, you rolled
Come on!
A natural 1.
Next to a natural 20, I'm so salty.
That's
I'm
really
so salty.
unfortunate.
The fearful magic fills you. The adrenaline pumps through your body. And you cannot help Akiri, Bella, Aquitas, but turn and run
Even with my 14?
Even with your 14. You run off screaming. As does Mavra. So everyone ran in and then got blasted by this magic and then turned and ran away. What would you like to do? Eventually, after running for, turning the corner, you all get new saves. So you'll eventually be able to make the save. So we're not going to, make you roll it each time. So it eventually fades. And you kind of catch your breath and look around and realize that you were affected by magic.
Oh, come on.
All right. New plan. I'll go over there. And I'm just gonna talk to it. You, Dawn, be around the corner with everyone else, ready to run in and glue him shut.
He says, why me? I'm no warrior like you seem to be.
All right. Who wants to be on glue duty?
I'll do it. And Akiri goes to take the glue from Dawn.
Yeah, here you are, Aarakocra. Good luck.
Thanks. I don't know how to use this, but I have a good idea.
All right.
Okay.
So
And-
Bella just
Hi,
yell
Grimslag.
like now.
He's cast fear twice, you say?
He has.
Or he's cast this cone of terror twice, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You
All
can make
right.
an Arcana check.
It's a 24.
It is the spell fear.
That's so interesting. All right.
And it does
I'm
seem to
going
be expending magic that it consumed.
Yes. So I'm going to head around the corner with my hands
Okay.
into sight of him. And I'm going to say, I'm not armed. I just want to talk to you.
So you're not carrying the glue. Akiri, where are you positioned?
Like right there. Do I have line of sight on him?
Well, you do if the doors are open, which they currently are.
Yeah, I don't want to be locked in a room with him. I'm not shutting the door.
One of his many eyes is fixed right on your face, Akiri, and the glue in your talons.
Akiri hides it behind her back and waves with the other hand.
Make a sleight of hand check?
Trying to look as not suspicious and inconspicuous as she possibly
Make
can.
a sleight of hand check with disadvantage. You very obviously, put the glue behind your back.
I'm gonna walk up behind Akiri.
Okay.
Although,
And-
according to statistics, this is the worst it should get.
Well, if I'm right behind Akiri, am I in line of sight of him before I get there? I don't
You
know.
mean here?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I would be. Okay, and I would see that.
Yeah, there's nothing that's out of his line of sight.
I'm gonna cast invisibility on myself.
Okay. From
Well,
here.
it is. Why is it all looking so weird? There it is.
You're weird.
Yep.
Okay. And then I'm gonna walk behind Akiri. And I'm gonna whisper to her, I'm right here. And I'm
She
gonna
jumps.
It's alright, it's just Equitas. And I'm gonna take the glue from her.
You can still see the glue. It's not invisible too.
Not if I put it in my cloak.
Okay, that's fair.
So, to any observers, it looks as though Akiri is speaking and then takes the glue out from behind her back and lets go of it in midair and it disappears.
Well, I imagine he's still behind her, and she's just like waving it furiously behind her.
Okay. Anyway, it disappears from your hands.
Sounds good.
You rolled a 1 on your sleight of hand check.
See, I did have glue at all ever.
You yell.
I just run. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. The spell book is all wonky. So I'm fixing
I
it.
noticed that too. It's really weird looking now.
Oh.
Yeah, it changed its format.
Everything's big. Just hit yeah, everything's big.
I'll get used to it.
Oh, like the full text is visible.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you hit like the little eye on the end next to like what it takes to do
they
the
did
spell,
something
they
to break
close
the
up.
formatting. It must be an accident. Well, later we can search for a way to fix that.
Yeah, the eye collapses it, but it's still pretty, well.
It's just time consuming.
I see. They probably added that as a feature, because they didn't used to be able to do that. And then it automatically set to being fully open. Yep.
Or they added it as a bug and it turned into a feature.
Isn't that always the way?
No, but sure. Why not? Okay.
I'm gonna send a message to Bella.
Okay. That will end your invisibility.
Oh, fart knockers. I didn't even think about that. Never mind. I mean, I guess I sent it. It's done. Alright.
Make an Arcana check.
Okay. 19?
You suddenly realize, you suddenly remember how this spell works as you begin thinking about casting a message.
Cool. I appreciate that. So I didn't do that.
Mm-hmm. So, the creature is blinking its many eyes. And it looks at you, Bella, and it says, "Not stupid."
I don't think that you're stupid. You're clearly pretty clever to have set this trap. I just wanted to find out what's going on. I mean, from our...
Hungry.
What do you eat?
Power, say the chorus of faces on its chitin.
So he's power hungry.
Grimslag says, "Oh, fart knockers is his new favorite phrase."
Oh my gosh, guys, we found a politician. Not Grimslag, but the many-faced thing.
That makes so much sense to me.
So
All
I
right,
would
guys.
probably vote for a politician that said, "Oh, fart knockers."
Yeah.
You're going with Joe Biden?
Malarkey.
Anyway,
So
Well-
I say no. I don't think you're stupid. What? So if we fed you power, would it hurt us?
kind of clicks its pincers. Clickety clack.
I'm walking up right behind Bella.
I mean, it wasn't particularly comfortable when you ate my fear spells, which you now seem to have used up. I hope. But if you are able to do it without hurting me, I can just remember a spell again in the morning. So,
Hungry.
good deal. Yeah, we established that. What's in it for me? Can I make like a persuasion check or something?
This is definitely a weird persuasion situation.
Yeah, I rolled it on accident, but I'm gonna keep that roll if I end up getting.
I guess I would allow persuasion to get it to offer something to you.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. It blinks its eyes and clickety clacks its pincers. Help you.
Help me do what?
Not eat you.
It makes a compelling case.
It does.
Equitas, how long can you concentrate on invisibility?
An hour.
Okay.
Let me double check. It's just right there. Yeah, concentration up to an hour. And I'm at this point I'm going to move right next to him. Right next to the to his little cage. This is gonna be the tricky part, isn't it? How do you do this without him knowing?
Make a stealth check as you
Yeah,
move into the room.
Okay.
Oof.
Oh shoot. 6.
Okay. Bella, you hear a kind of a crunching sound as some footsteps pass by you. The creature's many eyes flash over your shoulder, staring at the nothing. No. No. Fight. And it raises its claws menacingly.
I'm gonna start applying the sealant.
Okay. Make an initiative roll.
Okay. 8. Oh, I guess I should have waited for you to have the thing up there. I didn't even see.
Okay. Are you trying to apply a quick thing? A quick seal? Or are you trying to use it very carefully and, being super cautious about it? Because that would take time.
Right.
Whereas a quick one you could probably do in an action.
Yeah, I probably would try to do a quick one at first and see what I can do.
Alrighty, make a dexterity check.
Alright. Just a straight up dexterity?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. 15.
For a second, you almost got some on your fingers. Then you quickly pull your hand out of the way and allow the sovereign glue to dribble over the crack in the glass. This happens right before the creature casts another spell. This time it was a fireball. Fire fills the glass dome, rocketing around and around and around it like a reverse snow globe. And crisping the pointy ends of the creature's body. It blinks its eyes as the smoke begins to clear. And you can see it rattling and raging, but no sound emerges.
Doesn't he know you're not supposed to cast a fireball in an enclosed area? Heaven's sakes. Fireball 101.
Oh, okay. I feel better about that. Does it look like... So obviously, cast a fireball is probably held then. Are there any other...
Oh yeah.
Or anything?
In fact, the glue doesn't look damaged at all.
Okay. Alright. Good.
You breathe a sigh of relief. And you hear a voice inside your head. Oi, friends. Did you take care of that little problem for me? I'll thank you kindly. Now you can return to dinner if you like, or go to bed, but it seems that the Mage Eater has been resealed. And I'm very happy about that. Just imagine what it could have done had it eaten one of my enchantment spells, or something of the power, the more powerful end of the scale within the tower. That would be quite a disaster, wouldn't it? Very, very pleased with your performance. So glad you came to the tower. Now, once again, go finish up dinner. I'll probably pop in for a nightcap myself. And then it's off to bed, isn't it? Much obliged, thank you.
I don't know how to feel about her.
I'm gonna drop invisibility.
I think she seems nice.
I agree, but I don't know what to think about it.
All right. Dawn kind of grunts. The guy in the black hood pulls the hood back up over his head where it had fallen during the fight. Well, that's that then. Better go finish my gruel. And he returns to the grand feasting hall with all the beautiful foods that you have all requested, except for his bowl of gruel that he apparently refused to eat anything but.
Akira's gonna lean over to Bella and say, I thought Equitus was the edgiest person I'd ever met. I was wrong.
Yeah, this guy, he's sort of some next level dour, isn't he?
I'm honestly really impressed.
He's a bit of a strange one, isn't he? Says the man with the mechanical kind of side of his face, and the mustache that is half hair, half like metal, matching the hair. He says, well, I've got some more research to be doing, but let's all go and have a bit of a bite to eat, and perhaps we can ask Aerie some questions. If she does show up for that nightcap. This was a bit of extra excitement.
Yeah, I'll head back to the eating area.
Okay.
Not particularly hungry.
Yep.
I'm always up for more food.
There you go. Gotta refuel after that rage, buddy.
This isn't the Grand Feasting Hall, actually. But I don't seem to have that set up right now. This is the bar at the bottom floor.
That's a good place for a nightcap.
Probably the
Exactly.
best place. Yeah.
Probably the next place you go. Your friends, whom you freed, the slaves, all want to know what happened. How did your battle go? Why did she ask you guys to grab your weapons and leave dinner?
Well, there was a pretty scary monster that seemed to eat magic, so I can understand why our very magical host didn't want to go anywhere near it. But suitably dispatched, glued back in place.
That sounds really terrifying when you put it like that, Bella.
Well, it was pretty scary.
Vanuath, the elf slave that you rescued, says, "Well, it was kind of you to take care of it then."
We're nothing if not helpful.
Indeed. Now that you've released us all, I think we can all attest to that. It's true, says Orinar, looking up from his dinner. We're blessed to have found this place, and blessed indeed that all of you have gotten us the chance to rest and recuperate here. He's speaking kind of hesitantly. He keeps darting glances at Bref.
Orinar, did you want to talk?
Yes. Yes, certainly. Here?
All right, great. Let's talk.
Or elsewhere?
Oh, okay. I understand. Okay.
I mean, do you want to have the kind of talk that we can have in the dinner with everyone here, or do you want to have a more private conversation?
You're probably right. We should probably find somewhere quieter and more alone.
He turns to the side. Excuse me, Sarah. Looks like you're settled. And he starts to get up. As he's doing so, there is a flash of light at the end of the large table, where the large wooden chair that's all carved and hung about with decoration sits. And appearing on the chair is a halfling woman with red hair, wearing a silver dress and matching pearls woven into her red hair. And she says, "Aha! I have arrived." And applause breaks out from around the hall. She does a sort of a nod. She says, "Welcome, guests. I hope you've had a wonderful dinner. I'm so very sorry I was called away on business before I could join you. But anyone that wishes and is old enough, please join me for a nightcap before we all go to our rest tonight. And or if you don't drink, don't feel any obligation. I'm just going to skip to dessert, as it were. But thank you. Welcome all the new guests, new faces. I hope you've already begun feeling that this is your home. And everyone who's already been a guest, please make the newcomers feel welcome. Not pointing any fingers, but you know who you are." And she kind of glances toward Dawn's direction. Right. Well, a good evening and sleep well, everyone. And she takes a mug from the table and heads down to the bar. Orinar kind of looks after her and then looks at you, Bref. I guess this will be easy to slip away. And most of everyone else follows her toward the bar. A few head toward the beds that were made up earlier, back up near the bathhouse in the tower, including the mother with a child and the older gentleman. One or two of the guests who had been here before, including Dawn, also head toward the bed. What would you, Bref? Do you go off to a quiet corner with Orinar?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, maybe in the bathhouse area.
Sure.
I'm trying to think of where other people would not be right now.
Since everyone is either going to have a drink or going to bed, it's not hard to get away from people. However, there really is no place without the omnipresent kind of faceless, gray-skinned people whose servant clothes are just kind of part of their actual physical form, who are always kind of around doing things. Actually, cleaning up the dishes, piling them into high stacks is a large-sized one of these figures. Kind of this tremendously tall and wide, but featureless figure who's just kind of dressed almost like a with like a smock for washing dishes. Just starts stacking them all up.
I think this is probably going to be about as private as we can get in this place.
Yes, I suppose it is. And you know me, I always feel comfortable around water. So the bathhouse is perfect. It was nice to have a warm bath.
Oh, I haven't had a warm bath in months.
Yes, I suppose it's been about that for me as well. Or longer.
Look, it's been wonderful. When I first found my way back to shore, and after we survived, well, I survived. I thought I was the only one.
So did I.
The attack. I didn't think this day would ever come. I thought, no matter how strong I get, I'm never going to be able to free my brother. He's been taken by people I can't stop. And I've come to realize that's true. Come to realize that because I've joined in with a group, with a new crew, and I've realized that it's only because of them that I was able to free you. Not because of them, because of us. Because of us, we were able to rescue Akiri's brother. We went into a volcano, or no, we went right into a volcano. We've done things that I never thought possible, and I've realized it's changed me, and I've realized that your experiences have changed you. And look, you're my brother, and you'll always be my brother. We're a sea family. That cannot change, but the more time goes on, the more I realize, I don't know if it's fate or circumstance, or call it what you want, but life has brought us along different paths. And I'm not sure how close those paths can grow again.
Well, seems like a sad way of looking at it, brother. You said you were seeking me before.
That's right.
You found me. You rescued me. And all these other people. You seem to be walking on a path that leads to doing good. Leads to saving people. But you can't save everyone. Well, maybe you can, but not everyone. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I didn't know you were coming for me. I began to suspect when one night when I was hurt, and I had a vision or a dream of dolphins bearing me up from the depths of the sea, and I truly believe you somehow saved my life that night. After that, I had a feeling I couldn't shake, that the man with the dolphin tattoo was out there, and he was coming. And that gave me a different kind of hope. But before that, I had to survive. And Captain Puck LeBlanc, well, she knows her business. and her business is slaves. And she made me help her control the others. And part of the way she did that was she gave me a certain kind of hope about, I don't know, this gift of mine, this connection with a feisty. Like, maybe I meant for something. Maybe it was fate. Or a feistie's guidance that led me to slavery. I don't know if that makes any sense. But that's how I survived. And it's only been a few days since you rescued us. You and your friends, and it's hard to come out of that dark place, even though we have left it. Do you understand, Breath?
No, I think you would know that there's a lot in this world that I don't understand, but I think I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Breath, I guess we once thought that we would become adventurers together. The Sea Brothers, us against the world. You've always been strong, not just physically, but in many ways. And I had my gift to commune with the goddess of wind and wave. Breath, I'm not sure that I'm not sure
that's what our lives are meant to be now.
Exactly. See, you understand. You understand things better than you let on. I've always known that. I've always known that, my friend. I don't know if I'm capable of changing over to, or going back to that adventurous life. And I think that you are, and that you shouldn't even think about leaving the path you're on, because look at the evidence look at what it's already done.
You're on your own path too. Look what you've been through. No one should ever have to go through. And I don't know, and I don't think I want to know exactly what Sarah means to you, but you and her, you mean a lot to each other. You've pulled yourself through this together, and I think the two of you, in whatever way that happens, can keep helping each other and help the rest of them. There's a whole group of people here with us that they need guidance.
That's the thing, Bref. It feels so strange. Why should Sarah and I continue to be in charge?
I'm not saying you'd be in charge.
Well, we are, though. Everyone, all of the freed slaves, they look up to us still. They still come to us and ask, what are these strange people? Where are they taking us? What is going to become of us? Because they're just used to it.
You know, one of the other things we did on our adventures is we found a giant spider. And my initial thought was, holy crap, that's a big spider. Let's kill it.
As it would be anyways.
But some of the other people in our group decided to show a little mercy to it, and it kind of became a bit of a pet that still tried to eat us sometimes. But little by little, we trained the spider to take care of itself without eating us. And this analogy kind of got away from me. What I'm trying to say is, you need to treat them like that giant spider and realize that they may try and eat you right away, but over time, they'll learn to hunt for themselves. Give them some time to find their feet again. Right now, you can be a source of stability for them. There's something familiar. You're someone they can trust, and after a few weeks, maybe a few months, they'll find their own way. And then you and Sarah can find your own way.
Good analogy. Well, I guess you're right. I thought this was going to be a lot more painful of a conversation, to be honest.
You know, I think if it had happened even just a few months ago, it probably would have, but I think we've both really grown a lot.
Well, I keep hearing my kid making sounds.
I have no idea what that's like.
Yeah, but she's nominally been asleep for 2 hours, so...
Yeah. She's probably angrily throwing stuffed animals across the room. The half-orc kind of rubs his face and says, well, for what it's worth, Bref, Sarah is an important person to me, but not what you and I had.
Well, I'm sure one day you'll find another me. That sounded weird. Did that sound weird? That sounded weird. You know what I mean.
I don't know, Bref. There's something... some other thing, some other path that I'm on with a feisty. I don't know where it's going to take me. But my powers are getting stronger.
I always knew you had more potential than you let on.
Well, I always thought that would be a good thing. But that was when I was with you. Going on adventures.
And step up and put a hand on his shoulder and say, "Brother, I know you. I know you may not be able to see it now, but give it time. It will be a good thing. It may not look like what we may have dreamed about as young scallywags, but I know you. You won't be able to help yourself. You'll use it for good."
Well, I'm looking forward to a nice long rest here in this tower. And then I guess we'll see. But Bref, let's not give up on our two paths coming together just yet.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, anything's possible.
All right, then.
And look, whatever happens, wherever our paths take us, you're my brother. And I will always love you.
Well, friend. He kind of exaggeratedly juts out his lower jaw. Well, friend. As I've always said, I'm exactly half the man you are. And that's quite a lot of man.
I am a very beefy boy.
Well, with that thought in our heads, I think I'm off to bed.
Good night.
Good night, Bref. Meanwhile...
I'd like to know that, like, as soon as the Kiri realized what was happening, she was like, "Okay, we're going downstairs."
So, yeah, did you three all go down to the bar, or...?
I did.
Equitas definitely needs a drink.
Okay.
I'd like to say that Akiri kind of waited behind to watch them, to see if they were gonna, like, see what was going on. Yeah, basically. And then when she realized what was happening, she was like, "I'll give him some space," and went downstairs. If you guys had gone into a room, she would have locked the door on y'all.
Right.
But no, she's downstairs.
So what's that?
But no, she's downstairs.
Okay. So the three of you are in the bar. People are kind of gathering at tables and at the bar and in little knots and kind of chit-chatting before bed. There's this kind of reverential circle, just like formed of like some of the guests and kind of around Aerie, like they can't help themselves. And in her silver dress, she seems almost radiant, like slightly illuminated. But she once again snaps her fingers and changes the outfit, which just kind of flows from the silver dress, becomes like this, still like very nice, but not like quite as overdressed looking. Something that really fits the tavern, like a leather jerkin, and loose violet shirt, and really crazy boots. She still wears all of the pearl jewelry, however. streams of pearls are woven into her hair. And she goes up to the bar and she says, "There's a figure behind the bar, whom is kind of thin, but is but is gray and faceless, and kind of one of the servants that are around the tower, and moves with this kind of very quick and precise movements, making all these drinks as he goes up and down the bar." And she goes, "Oi, bartender, I'll have a cider starlight, if you please." And he gives her a glass. He mixes some things together, shakes it up, and slides it down the bar very precisely to her. And in this glass, and it does look like, as she waves her hand over it, like starlight in a glass. And you can smell, from across the room, you can smell the apple hard cider, the apple smell coming from her drink. And she says, she holds it up and she says, "To new friends in a new home." And everybody holds up their... Some people respond to the toast anyway. She looks at you guys after chit-chatting a bit and says, "So, now that you've already performed a service for me, for which I am very grateful, tell me more about yourselves. What has brought you to the Floating Obelisk?"
Well, as we said, we had a rather valuable piece of your property and felt that it was only right to return it as quickly as possible.
Oi, and for that I am extraordinarily grateful. I was beginning to wonder whether those soldiers of fortune I had rented it out to were going to return.
Indeed. I'm not sure that they would have. Although...
Now I get to keep the ship and the deposit. Unless they show up, I suppose.
I think that they'll probably have other priorities on their mind. But you never know. I admit that I didn't really... We didn't give them a lot of clues as to where we were going in any case.
Oh, aye. So you don't think that they will know that you brought my ship back to me?
I don't know what ways they have of knowing things, but they won't have had any idea from us.
Right. Well, pull up a chair, have a drink, and tell me, what possessed you to rescue all these people from their life of slavery?
Well, you just really hate slavery, I guess. Plus, one of the slaves happens to be a relative of one of our number, which is how we found out about the auction in the first place.
Oh, aye, I see. Well, that only makes sense. Oh, family, am I right?
Indeed. Although once we were there, of course, we could hardly take one and leave all the rest. But
Very
that
true.
was...
That only makes sense to me.
And so, yes, now I suppose we have some bandit kings on our tails, but that's a problem we'll deal with later. We've got a lot of people on our tails at various times, and so far none of them have caught us.
Risky, to be sure. Probably a good idea to lie low for a while, take a rest, have a breather.
Indeed.
I mean, she's death kind of caught up with us.
Well, we more kind of like walked into her. That was... We knew what was happening.
Cheese
That's
Death?
fair.
One of your enemies is named Cheese Death?
It's more of a derogatory nickname.
Oh. Right.
I don't suppose this'll mean anything to you, and I'll show her my ankle tattoo.
Oh, that's a brand, sweetie. Oh, you've got dragon magic on you. I can smell it now. Right. I was wondering what that peculiar aroma was.
Yeah, burning flesh, probably.
I was thinking, Dragonborn? No, none of them are Dragonborn. But no, that's dragon magic, that is. Oh, dearie me. We'll have to do something about that, won't we?
Well, we're in a mutually agreeable arrangement with her where we do which and we live. So,
Oh, you willingly took her mark?
Not really.
Property of Child Earth.
Not really. It was either this or die.
But we chose not to die.
So, well, that's very unfortunate. Well, you're in luck, sweetie, because at least some of the dragon magic will be, how shall I put it, muted. Kind of like how it's hard to hear through some damp cloth or something. If you've ever had a bag over your head. Not that anyone would want to put a bag over your head, my pretty creature, but, muffled, like a sound, could be muffled. Some of the dragon magic may be muffled while you're staying in the tower with me.
Well, that'll be nice, but, as
and
you said
if you
earlier,
stay a long time, it may begin to fade. In fact, it will begin to fade over time. Slowly, though, slowly.
Right.
And then once it's muffled enough, we should be able to perform some kind of procedure to remove the brand from you. I'm sure your friends would prefer if you didn't carry a brand of dragon magic.
Yeah, probably. But I would hate to attract the dragon's attention to your little safe haven here. She's not trifled with.
Well, don't you worry your pretty head about that, my dear. I'm sure that even a dragon would think twice about approaching the floating obelisk. I've heard of this Child Earth. I believe her mate was killed not too long ago.
Yeah, we might have been indirectly involved in that.
Well, this place has weathered dragon attacks before. And it's older than Child Earth. So I would say this might be, if you're worried about it, this might be one of the most safe places in the whole of the Wildlands. I would say so. I'm going to take another sip of my cider starlight now.
It's interesting that you say that, because I admit that I haven't heard of or encountered this place before.
Oh,
I wonder if
it's not famous, dearie. It's not famous. Well, perhaps to the locals.
And yet, what I would have thought. I mean, considering that you have people coming from as far away as Answell to do research.
Oh, I keep up a relationship, I do, with other enchanters out in the wildlands, as it were. I do like to exchange research and information from time to time. And when they say they have some promising young students or professors, well, as I mentioned, I get awful lonely, and I like to have guests around anyway, so it works out. But I don't want to get involved in any of the Wildlands politics anymore. No, I had enough of that in my younger days. But, what are you going to order? I've got all kinds of unique drinks. Several of my own design. Or if you have a favorite, please, go ahead and order. This servant of mine can make just about anything you desire.
Do you have anything non-alcoholic?
Non-alcoholic? Well, of course. What you're going to be wanting is a blueberry wonder.
That sounds absolutely delightful.
Well, go on and order.
Kiri's gonna wander up to him.
The faceless
excuse me?
bartender turns toward you.
Can I have a blueberry? Blueberry, right?
That's right, dear. I said blueberry wonder.
Alright, can I have a blueberry wonder?
The bartender goes like kind of almost supernaturally fast, buzzing back and forth behind the bar, and quickly mixes together like some fresh blueberries and some blueberry syrup, and crafts this sparkling, effervescent drink that bubbles and fizzes in your mouth and on the way down, and is sweet and like a blueberry bun going on in your mouth.
She's gonna grab it and happily sit back down. Blueberry's one of my favorites.
Right, well, if we can have your attention for just another minute. I know you're terribly busy, but I wanted to know what the plan was for starting a research project.
Oh, you're interested in starting a research project?
Well,
Of course. Tell me all about it.
Well, a friend of ours, my Maver here, has a,
Maver waves hello.
a family member who has unfortunately fallen victim to the pink chill. And, it's a terrible, terrible disease, of course, and very much, one that is sorely lacking in research. We happened to get in touch with one of the foremost experts on it, and he gave us a few leads to look into in terms of places where we might possibly find a solution.
Excellent. Always good to get advice from the expert.
So I suppose that's what we're hoping to look into.
The disease. That's it?
Well,
what are the channels that are that were suggested to you?
We're more interested in looking into some specific aspects of demonology.
Demonology. Well, that's interesting.
Yes. I suppose we could go into more detail here, but perhaps it would be better not to spoil the mood of the evening with talking about powerful demons.
Oh, not at all. What could possibly go better with a delicious nightcap? And what are you drinking, by the way?
I don't think that I had drunk anything yet. But I'll,
Well, go on then.
with the amount of unique drinks here, I can only go off of your recommendation.
My recommendation? Well, that's an interesting question. I'm not sure whether you would prefer a light ale slush. Maybe you're into something a bit more hoppy, like Rotten Walker. Or more of a fruity drink, like Passion Fruit Crash.
I'll try the passion fruit crush.
Wonderful. Bartender? Thesis bartender mixes together this crazy concoction, complete with this tall glass, all different kinds of fruit, mainly passion fruit slices, on sticks, like stuck into the drink, and also like a crazy straw that goes looping and twirling around it, and the whole thing kind of looks like a mountain and forests if you kind of squint at it.
Awesome.
And it is delicious. It's not unlike a daiquiri with passion fruit.
All right, cool.
She says, well, demonology, so fiendish diseases then.
Yes, I don't know if that's exactly what we're looking for, but that
Right.
seems to be the nearest lead that we've found so far.
Well, I have several extensive libraries here in the tower, so I'm sure that if you put your mind to it, and if you're willing to spend the time, that's very important, you can read your way through these volumes and find what you're looking for. I'm sure that there are many books you're going to need to consult, including always check the bibliography on any research document. That's very important, because it can give you the title of the next book you've got to read.
I'm going to put a hand on her arm and say, believe me, I know my way around a research project.
Excellent. A woman after my own heart, then. Well, she twists her, she snaps her fingers, and a writing pad and a quill appear. You might want to write these down, but just off the top of my head, you're going to want to at least check Priestess Without a Goal. That's a book. Priestess Without a Goal, which is written in a dead language of an ancient empire that used to be here in the Wildlands. They're a very religious empire. Priestess Without a Goal. For definitely some talk of fiendish diseases in there. Certainly for a classic folio on demonology, you're going to want to consult Friends of Heaven, which can give you some general information on a lot of different fiends. Fallen angels and the like. And I know there's one more that immediately comes to mind. Let me see. Well, there is a... how are you with books written by madmen?
I mean, that's at least one of my top 10 genres.
Excellent. Then you might be able to handle a book written, if it's a bit confusing, written by a madman according to a pattern only he understands.
Sure. I'll give it a try anyway.
I might have been afflicted by a mental disease of the fiends himself. Or possessed, for all that the rumors used to say back in the day. But that book is called Never Trust the Animals.
Akira looks mildly put out.
Oh, don't make a face like that. Everyone knows you're not an animal. Or they ought to, anyway. Where are you from, young thing?
I'm from kind of over by Wildstone. About
Wildstone.
day and a half from there.
That's an old town. Well, I know it.
Yeah, my brother's was apprenticed to a wizard around there.
I remember when they first built the golems, the forest, the wood and stone golems that they were taking out around Wildstone. Aye, those were the days. The Silver Sickle Druids controlled the area back then. Long gone now, of course. Nothing but a memory.
Has Akiri heard of any of this stuff before?
Nope.
That's what I figured.
Wildstone is marked by these standing stones in and around the forest, and occasionally in the middle of town, kind of overgrown with moss. And the legend goes that those were the remains of, like, creatures, of golems that would rise up and protect the town. But that was just a story. They were just standing stones.
Wait, golems? Do you mean all those, like, the standing stones around in there? But that's just a story.
Well, a story it may be, but we all become stories eventually, don't we?
True.
Oh, my dear, dear, sweet summer child. Do you really think that a standing stone is ever dead?
Well, when you put it like that... No, I guess not.
Look to your god for answers. Perhaps you'll find them in the bottom of your blueberry surprise. Or wonder, I think you ordered.
Kiri doesn't know how to feel about that statement. She's like, okay, wait, is that an insult? I can't tell.
And how about you? We haven't had a tiefling in the tower in a little while.
Well, I really appreciate your hospitality. This is a nice place, and you're very friendly.
Thank you. I'm glad you are enjoying being here. Hopefully it's good for a rest. And less of the judgment that's popular now for tieflings in many of the towns and cities roundabout.
Yeah, you get used to it after a while.
Well, you shouldn't have to. I prefer to get used to the good life.
That's kind of you to say.
Oh, not at all. It's simply true. I remember back in the far-off old days, the forgotten days. I think you would have had an easier time of it then.
Are tieflings more common or thought of differently?
Well, I suppose they were most common back when that funny little empire was around.
Right.
What empire?
Oh, they called themselves the Empire of Ebb, or the Kingdom of Ebb.
Wait, I'm sorry. You remember Ebb?
Of course. Well, a funny little empire, like I mentioned.
Can you tell us about them?
Well, I suppose. Long gone now, really. What has it been, 1,000 years? Has it been that long?
Something like that.
They're nothing but dust now, I suppose.
Well,
Still a few relics around.
Aye, that there are. They wanted to put a portal in my own tower. How would you like that? But I said no. And I'm glad I did, after what happened to him.
Yeah, no good came of that.
No good would have come from it, no. But they were here for a while, and then they went. Funny little empire, lots of deals with demons and devils. Lots of truck with fiends. And lots of powerful magic that they had. And lots of tieflings were the result.
the result of the magic?
More the result of all of their alliances. With the various creatures from other planes that I mentioned.
So are you saying that that's where tieflings came from? That's where we started?
Do you mean were there tieflings before the Empire of Ebb?
Right.
Well, they were certainly far more rare.
Interesting.
But I would say, really, for... You know, I could send a message. I still keep up a... not so friendly these days, but I might be able to get a bit of information from the White Lady. If you really want to know about tiefling history, which why wouldn't you, being one and all?
Well, okay. Can you tell me more about this white lady?
Well, I suppose she's called the White Witch now. But what do you want to know about her? She's a possible magic user. Might have rivaled my own power, given a few millennia.
Is she a tiefling also?
Oh, of course. She has a little university that she runs, along with her town. From her, apparently she has a grand palace.
Where is this university?
Well, it's in White Witch. I can't say I'm impressed by the name scheme. But I suppose we all have to dabble with that when we're only a few centuries old.
Do you think she named herself that?
The White Witch?
Or was it something that somebody else came up with and it just stuck?
I would expect she named herself that to try and change her reputation. Who would want to go to a university that was run by a tiefling if they thought she was a black witch? Silly, really. Magic is just magic, of course. There's nothing good or evil about the magic itself. But you know that, being a warlock and all.
Yeah.
So, what are you drinking tonight?
Me? You know, when I was a teenager, we used to drink this rice wine. Do you have anything like that? This liquor that was made out of, I'm not sure exactly.
Rice wine?
Yeah.
An unusual request. They have that down south, don't they? I think we might have something in the back. Run along and see if we have any sake, she says to the bartender. And he returns with a clay bottle and matching little teacup with no handle and a pretty design on it, and pours you some rice wine.
Thank you very much. It's been a while.
You're very welcome. Oh, I'm curious. I haven't had any of that in a long time. Bartender, pour me a shot of that, if you would. She consumes it. Yes, that's good stuff.
It is.
So, well, it's been very interesting talking with you. Please let me know if you have any other questions. And of course, not to be awkward about it or anything, but if you just shout my name, I can, and you're within the tower, I can help you with whatever problem or request you might have. Of course, sometimes I get a bit busy, which I'm sure you'd understand.
That's good to know. Thank you very much.
No problem. That's for more of your advanced research requests and such like.
Oh, obviously.
Or if you want to ask me more about the funny old Empire of Ebb, or anything else far back as the Forgotten Days. But most of your needs, you should be able to simply ask one of the servants. Oh, and yes, you have my permission, of course, to use the library. And just don't damage any of the books.
Thank you very much.
You are most welcome. And thank you all for risking life, limb, and I don't know what else in dealing with the little problem tonight. Have a drink, forget, and sleep well.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
She smiles and turns away to other guests.
So, what do y'all think of that?
She seems nice.
But does she seem too nice?
Now, that's the question.
Is there such thing as too nice?
Yes.
Okay, well, agree to disagree.
No, I'm with Bella. I don't know if there is.
I mean, look, she hasn't done anything particularly sinister so far. She's just being really, really helpful and giving us lots of food and alcohol.
That's true. Hey, do you think we should talk to her about, like, the upcoming doom, apparently?
We can, but I get the distinct feeling that she won't really care.
Yeah, apparently she's already rode that out once. So...
At least.
my bet is she's ridden out at least 5. Also, she knows about Ebb, like she's been there. Which we just established was 1,000 years ago. How old is this lady?
More to the point, how does she remember Ebb when it has
That's
been
an even
almost
better point.
entirely... Yeah, this is a very powerful magical place, and she's a very powerful magical lady, and I'm curious to find out more about her.
Yeah, same.
But assuming that everything that she told us was at least partially true, her academic references seem to be impeccable. So as far as I'm concerned, we have no reason not to trust her.
Bella, I understand that, but I feel like your danger response, or like gauging who's actually dangerous, might be a smidge skewed.
When have I ever gotten us into trouble with somebody who is dangerous? By myself, without any of the rest of you egging me on.
Okay, that's a good distinction to make, because I don't think so yet.
I mean, generally speaking, I think that I am the one who has least frequently gotten us just to pull a random thing out of my ass, cursed, for example, or mind controlled, or forcibly tattooed, or branded, or captured, or enslaved, or even mildly uncomfortable.
I mean, I don't think I've done that either. Have
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, there was the whole volcano thing. But, you know.
I mean, to be fair, that was my brother.
Yeah, you had your reasons.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm just, I don't think that my track record supports the assertion that I don't have a good danger sense. There's something to be said for judging people and their trustworthiness based on how many other people who you also trust that they seem to be friends with.
Maybe everyone you're friends with and just doesn't like danger. And you're just lucky like that.
Well, I mean, up until now, that's been pretty true in my life.
That's fair. We have a knack for getting into bad situations.
So,
Or one person does. Akiri is definitely not looking at Nicotus.
Equitus is just drinking a lot.
The bartender keeps replacing the bottles of sake, the bottles of rice wine, each with a different handcrafted floral design on the clay bottle.
I think at this point, Breath is going to come out from the bathhouses, and after learning what the servants do, he's going to ask, "Hey, I found this shack in the desert one time. Can you make that?"
So Breath arrives and immediately asks for that.
It's like this magic distillery in the desert. There's legends about it.
Faceless bartender and serving servants kind of turn toward you. They don't seem to know what to do.
Breath.
Oh dear, you're going to have to be a little more specific than that. She overhears you, or notices that you are asking the servants.
Do we have any of it left?
It kind of makes your throat feel like lava. And then it makes your stomach feel like the flying ship we came on.
Right. Is it an ale or a liquor?
Oh, it's definitely a liquor.
So in that case, you might enjoy our Rainbow Bull, which is our own whiskey. Although it sounds like you're describing a moonshine. Do you know if it's moonshine or whiskey?
I just know it was really good, but this Rainbow Bowl sounds good too.
Alright, well, let's start with that and you can work your way up. This is served in a wooden tumbler that's actually carved, complete with horns, to look like the head of a bull. And the drink literally feels like it's enchanted to charge down your throat, burning with alcohol as it goes.
That's it. Oh, yep. Perfect. I'll have another.
They keep them coming.
Are you sure it's not carved to look like the head of a vermilion minotaur?
Well, he didn't order a vermilion minotaur.
Got it.
The Rainbow Minotaur is not just the head, but the upper torso as well. And
actually, if you order a vermilion...
There's a lot more of it.
See, the Rainbow Bull comes in a carven bull. The Vermilion Minotaur comes in a carven asshole.
I mean, the only proper way to order a Vermilion Minotaur is to order 2 of them side by side.
Yes. Well, that is... If you're in the know, this makes perfect sense.
And now that we've lost absolutely everybody, including the rest of the players,
yes, you all have your Bernie drinks, or your various drinks of various kinds, and the evening goes on. Unless you want to do something else, Stray will eventually make her magical exit.
Stray?
I'm sorry, Airy. And too many red-headed halflings with flying ships. And people will start leaving the bar one by one.
all right, well, I'll head out.
Okay. You make your way up to the sumptuous bedroom.
Indeed.
Well, the various guests, or formerly freed slaves, are all bedding down for the night in varying states of being full and clean and warm and on something soft for the first time in a long, long time.
Equitas is going to stay in the bar and drink, at least for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't imagine Breck is going to be going to bed anytime soon,
Kiri is
unless
definitely
it's on the bar top.
One by one, they leave. The guy with the half-metal mustache, the other freed slaves, Vanuath's Rithrosis, the elf freed slave, eventually finishes his elven wine, and with a kind of a tap of the forehead toward you guys, gets into the green light and travels up toward the bedrooms. What was that about Akiri?
I would say Kiri is also going to bed.
Akiri goes to bed. You fall into bed and it feels so good. A feather down mattress.
I doubt she's ever had one of those before.
It's
Everywhere Akiri sleeps, she sleeps on feather down.
Yep.
it's an interesting experience, but it is absolutely soft and wonderful. If a little pokey sometimes. And
Yeah, well, I doubt she can feel it through her feathers anyways.
probably not. You guys are there alone in the bar, except for the servants who are cleaning the place up, and the bartender who's still bringing you more drinks.
Bref.
Back with us.
Hey. Where's Ordinar?
Oh,
He didn't
He-
come back with you?
we went to bed.
Oh. I'm glad we were able to get him.
Oh, Those people who took him broke so many lives. And they got everything they deserved.
Yeah.
But some things can't be fixed.
I'm sorry, Brev.
No, I've come to realize this group that we found. I mean, before we got hired that first time, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't have any direction. I dreamed of revenge, but I knew it was just a dream. I knew I didn't have the power. I didn't have the strength to do what needed to be done. And now that we found each other, I mean, we found a new path. We found a way forward. We're helping people. Equitas, we're helping people. I think... I mean, I don't know if you've ever broken a bone. Probably won't surprise you to learn I have a few times. But after it gets broken and it heals up, I think it's stronger on the other side of it. That's the way I think we are. I think we all kind of came together broken. But I think we're starting to fix each other. Maybe a little.
That's really nice sentiment. I hope that's true.
I do too. And then Breath drinks one more Rainbow Bowl and passes out on the bar.
As you lift the what did I call it? Bowl, the rainbow bowl. The green light column flashes slightly. And a man walks out of it. It is the guy in the black hood with the double-ended dagger.
I'll wave at him and kind of gesture at the seat.
He hesitates. Make a charisma check.
Okay, just straight charisma roll.
Yes.
Look at the warlock doing his warlocky thing. Oh no!
Hey. 7.
I was about to be like, look at that warlock go. Look at him be a charismatic son of a gun. But
From within his black hood, he grunts. And turns. And goes and sits at a table instead of the bar with you.
Fair enough.
In the corner where he was sitting when you first met him.
Right. Well, I'm gonna finish my drink and find some place to sleep. I am exhausted, so I guess I'll stumble to the green light.
Okay. As you do so, one of the servants kind of looks like was clearing tables, standing near the green light. Kind of holds up a hand. You notice it doesn't really have like fingers. It has a thumb. It's like a mitten, gray mitten kind of. And then it gestures toward Breath.
Oh, okay.
And kind of mimes
All
like
right.
itself carrying him.
Okay. Yeah. He's probably a little bit too big for me. But if you could help me get him to bed, that would be great.
From out of the green light step 4 more faceless servants. And they all gather around Bref and lift him up and carry him, the poor drunken fellow, up into the green light and to bed. And then they tuck you in, but no one else knows that.
Oh.
And leave a couple of pills that you don't know what they are. White pills and a glass of water next to the nightstand. On the nightstand. Okay. So you will sleep. Is there anything you guys like? So we're kind of you can take some more time here. There's no necessarily need to like go into what do you do the next morning. Are there some downtime activities you want to do? Do you guys want to give me... Unless you are like, yes, the next morning I immediately get up and I do X, in which case, stop me. But if not, then give me a general idea of what you would like to do here.
I'd definitely like to activate my tattoo.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, your seal of power.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you need to do to do that?
I think just meditate for a week.
Isn't it composing?
Lucid dreaming.
Lucid dreaming.
Studying the seal to activate it for 1 month, but it says activate by further exploring my lucid dreaming ability.
Dude, that sounds fun.
Yeah, actually it does.
Interesting. So please describe a little bit about how Bella goes about doing that. What that's like.
Okay. Well, Bella has heard of a technique by which a well-known writer used to come up with ideas where he would hold something in his hand and then sit in a chair and deliberately make himself start to fall asleep and would dream until he was awakened by falling into a deep enough sleep that he dropped whatever he was holding. So she decides that she could probably use that to start having some controlled dreams without getting too far asleep. And so what she will do is, try to meditate on a specific thing that she wants to have dreams about, just some kind of neutral things at first, like, dreaming that you're at on vacation at the beach or something, and meditating heavily on that until she falls into a deep sleep, hoping that that'll help her be able to control start to learn how to control herself while she's sleeping.
And unlike any other member of the party, she's really the only one who knows what a vacation at the beach is. Or is like.
Fair.
Okay. Interesting. So, yes, life kind of enters this interesting period at the Enchanted Tower. You generally have dinner all together, as if all the guests in the tower were one big family. People start to de-stress. You see the rescued slaves. You see the boy smiling and laughing for the first time. And his mother kind of able to relax as some of the faceless servants nanny for her occasionally. Everyone starts to be able to relax. Sometimes Aerie joins you for those dinners. Sometimes she seems called away on other matters. There are many magical wonders to look at, and there are certainly many alchemical substances that could help you, Bella. And comfortable chairs to sit back in with piled up downy pillows and drift off to lucid dreaming in order to activate your seal of power. And time seems to pass almost without you noticing it. Again, for the first time, because you need a week to activate your seal.
Yeah.
But especially with all of the sleeping and dreaming, time just kind of flows on. You forget what day of the week it is.
It's like that 1 week between
hard to keep
Christmas and New
track.
Year's.
Especially if you are so sick you don't get up, as I was this year.
What day is it? Tuesday. Last I saw it was like Friday.
Anyway. Okay. How about you, Equitas?
I'm gonna finish up. I think I probably had a day or two for 3 left.
Yeah, more like 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days. So I'm gonna finish,
Okay.
meditate.
So when you do that,
Okay.
where do you go and how do you go about doing that?
Well, I'd probably find a dark, as quiet and as private a place as I can find around here. Maybe
It's actually quite difficult to do if you are trying to avoid the servants.
Yeah, I don't know if I would count the servants.
Okay.
Um.
In that case, it's a big tower.
Right.
Even with like 20 or so people in it, it's not that
Right.
hard to avoid them.
And probably, just in the dark, maybe a candle.
And you commune with the shadow.
Yeah. Just, meditate. I mean, just try to empty my mind. It's not the easiest thing in the world.
Well, you're not quite sure how far into this communing you are. But you know you've got to be close to reactivating the seal. When a voice breaks through, as if through a veil, and it's not the strange accent of your host, but something you are perhaps the host for. Equitas, my son. Once again, thou reachest for me. I hear thy call for power.
Yeah, I could use some. Things seem to be getting, they're not calming down. And we could use all the help we could get.
Indeed. Tell me, my son, why dost thou cast away the objects of power that thou hadst within thy grasp?
I was afraid if I didn't, the dragon would have killed me and my friends. And I'm no good for anybody dead. I can always try and get it back. But at the moment, it was really the best decision I could have made.
True. Thou speakst truth, Equitas. However, 'twas more than that.
More?
'Twas more than that.
What do you mean?
Thou dost fear.
Oh,
Thou dost fear the trappings of thine own power.
I admit it does make me. It concerns me sometimes. Yeah, it does. It scares me.
The hand that reaches out for power, as thine has done, must not fear to take hold.
All right. I need some assurances. I need to know what you're getting out of this. And also,
Thou knowest the bargain thou hast made.
yeah. I am not so sure that that bargain is in my best interest anymore.
And yet thou usest power and seekest more.
Well, to be honest with you, I've been using the power to try and help people as much as I can. And trying to seek more, honestly, was for this right here, was to talk to you. I figured eventually you'd show yourself.
Thou hast broken through the veil. placed upon thy slumber by cycle gods and shrines, and her.
Yeah.
Thy dreams hast been shielded, blocked.
Yeah, I'm sure they have been. Listen. I don't think this is working out. I've been afraid of a lot of things. And I was afraid of this. But, I don't really care. I mean... if, I don't think that you have good intentions. I know you don't. And I'm not gonna believe anything that you tell me.
Thy words are foolish and ill-considered. Thou dost think that thou canst toss off the shadow like a jilted girlfriend, as thou hast done with others. Thou art a fool, then.
Oh, I don't think it'll be easy.
Thou must mature, Equitas.
Yeah. Everybody I meet calls me a kid or boy or something.
Dost
Probably
that
right.
not lead thine eye inward?
I think I've been leading my eye inward a little too much.
Then fear not thyself or power as a child would.
I don't fear myself. Not really.
Thou hast already made a bargain for power. If thou dost not wish to grasp thine own power, thine own courage, but to quake and to crawl, then thou canst end the bargain simply by offering up what thou hast promised unto me.
I haven't promised anything.
Thou hast.
That this was...
Thou couldst not have become what thou art were not thy soul forsaken.
Yeah. My soul. It seems to me that you've already got it. And I mean, what am I don't know what that means. what offering up my soul means, and I'm tired of worrying about it, and I'm tired of having to worry about you. It's ruining everything, and I can't do it anymore.
Equitas, what dost thou desire?
That's a big question, but I know what I don't desire. I don't desire anything that comes from you. Not anymore. It's helped. But I have a feeling that you're eventually going to ask me to do something or ask something from me that I'm not going to be able to do anyway.
Equitas, thou art one of my favored servants. Never hath thou been asked to do anything. My son, I have but reveled in thy victories, praised thee, and approved of thy action when of benefit.
Yeah, when I kill people. I mean, just say it. That's what you like. You like that I kill people.
Equitas, thou art not yet strong enough to understand. What thou perceivest as death is but a limited point of view.
Yeah. I'm afraid of that too.
Thou knowest that the shadow doth desire souls. Hast thou never considered why?
All the time. So, one of the main things I think about.
The answer, when thou dost discover it and understand it, shall bring to thee a great peace.
I'm not sure I believe that, but I'm gonna continue for now.
Thou hast no choice.
One thing though, none of my friends, especially Bella, you can't touch them. They're not yours. Not ever.
Thou dost not have the right to decide for thy friends what choices they make.
If they willingly make a decision, that's theirs. I'm not gonna. I wouldn't choose anything for them.
Equitas, thou art saying thou wouldst control the minds and hearts of all and tell them to be unto thine own way of thinking. That is a power greater than thou canst currently wield.
No, all I'm saying is...
Yes. For if thou wouldst say that thy friends cannot make the choice that thou hast made, or that they doth deem reconcilable with their own desires, then thou art attempting to control them, which thou shall one day be able to do.
I don't want that power. That's not the kind of power I want. And I don't want to make
What
a choice.
power dost thou want, Equitas? Thou must decide.
I just want to help people.
Then help them. It is that simple. Thou art not lost. Thou art discovering the way to seek.
Okay. We'll do it your way. For a little while longer.
Good. Good. Then power shall flow. The mark burns on your body. And in the dark corner where you are communing over a candle and a skull, it lights up, and the seal of power is marked on your flesh, and you gain your ability for another month.
Awesome. That was simple.
Akiri, tell me a little bit about what your character wants to do.
All right. So Akiri hasn't gotten her seal yet. So now that we have like a decent
What?
amount. No, she hasn't.
You mean I never gave it
No,
to you, or
she
she
got her
never
seal?
activated it?
But she's never activated.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna do.
Okay. Well, hopefully you have that text and can tell us a little bit about how she goes about doing that.
Well, she needs to spend 1 week praying. So she's gonna find herself a... Actually, she's probably gonna head down to the bar area and...
I love it!
Shut up, Max. You don't know what I'm doing with this. She's gonna run down to the bar and pick up a flagon of ale real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And then find herself a nice quiet corner with her flagon of ale and... Actually, no, she's not gonna get ale, she's gonna get wine. I believe that's slightly more appropriate.
Mm.
Like a real deep red. real deep red wine.
Okay.
And find yourself a quiet corner and pray to Shurk.
She prays to Jurk for 1 week, and her seal of power is called...
Seal of the Frilled.
The Seal of the Frilled. And it does what?
She can spend a hit die as a reaction when you are an ally. You can see rolls an attack or saving throw to allow them to re-roll after they roll, but before the DM declares the result.
Okay, yeah. We may have to revisit that one in particular.
It's a little OP.
We'll see how it works out. But I reserve the right. Jurk reserves the right to alter the deal.
Just like, all right, kid, need to pull you back a little bit.
I might need to just reword the way that works a little bit. But I think in principle it's cool. The time passes, the week passes in prayer and meditation, and you find new meaning and passion in your prayer that you've never really been able to access before. Maybe it's the wine, but
I was about to make a joke.
then again, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just helping you open up a new connection to the god of summer and drinking. And you recall the voice of your deity in your dream, telling you to drink deep of life and knowledge. Go ahead and roll a D100 and add your cleric level for me.
So I'm putting the total that pops out will be the correct one.
Cool. Okay. You feel a certain peace. And some time has passed. You're not sure whether it was a week or more than a week. But a pattern appears on your feathers. I'll let you decide what it looks like. But it should... it somehow enhances the frilled nature of your feathers. And you feel very much as though you've been acknowledged by a god as one of his chosen.
She's very pleased by that.
Bref, give me a general outline of what you would like to be doing.
What?
I
missed what you said.
Give me a... What would you like to do?
Outline. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of be doing the same thing.
Okay.
Though I don't know what exactly it'll look like. I suppose I would ask one of the servants if there's any kind of like aquatic center in the obelisk. Because I'm not really sure how else I would put my seal into practice for the necessary week if it's not tied to the water somehow.
Bathhouse.
Yeah.
Yep. That makes sense.
Getting real intense with that rubber ducky.
I can totally picture that. Don't you have to do like some exercises or something?
It says I just had it up. practice. I think. Can look again.
Yeah.
Dolphin.
I mean, basically putting yourself through strength training and
Okay.
And fighting,
Hi.
training and all the things that practicing with your weapons and your and
Is
also
there a
your
gym?
focus of mind in battle, your rage focus that you do, your wild and crazy stuff. And there actually is a training room. There's basically a gym in the Enchanted Tower.
I'm gonna go full Rocky montage on it.
It is of course the floor above the bar. So you can go down, get a drink, then go up there and drunkenly just wail on a bunch of dummies, and then practice trying to send your dolphins to heal them off your tattoo.
Yeah, I think it. After my discussion with Orinar and my subsequent night of bowling, just the chance to really lose myself in unbridled physical violence. But not actually. I mean, I'm not hurting anyone, obviously, but just
practice dummies.
Yes,
those practice dummies are destroyed.
Yeah,
and then replaced every morning.
I mean, they had it coming. Let's be fair.
They did. They said something about your mother.
Yeah, and it helps me work through kind of my feelings and unprocessed emotions.
Well, you channel those emotions, which is your special thing that you do as a barbarian. You channel those emotions into practice like you've never practiced before. And your tattoo shifts and changes. You can decide how it looks, but your tattoo shifts and changes to reflect that your seal of power is now active. Well, I guess we can ask Danielle in Discord later what Mavra does, but I have a feeling she is also going to activate her seal, since that's what everyone did. I have advanced the calendar, but time... It's not that time is necessarily weird within the tower, but your sense of time is a little strange. I mean, you're not outdoors physically responding to the weather and the rising and setting of the sun. It doesn't have quite the same effect when you have magical light and everything you could possibly need in the tower. And every one of you finds that as you're doing this, Equitas, they keep you supplied with skulls and candles and bells.
I don't want to know where the skulls come from.
You can request animal skulls if you want.
Okay.
Still a lot of skulls.
It's
however many he needs. I guess he needed one a day.
It's one of the levels of a giant magical obelisk we're inside of.
Yep. The runes pulsate and keep a kind of ambient light everywhere on the walls.
He's our barbarian.
And Bref, they keep you supplied with fresh weapons.
Yeah, he's got a wizard hat on.
And yes, I do. And
yeah, we're missing one actually.
They replace the dummies. The servants just replace the dummies all the time, and they feed you a lot of meat, a lot of protein, or whatever you want. Really, every one of you can eat and drink as much of your favorite foods as you wish. And there's a hot bath ready for you every day, with fancy smelling soaps. The former slaves are loving it, and Orinar does something new with his hair every other day.
Oops.
Your mic is live, by the way, Anne.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, it is. Give me a sec.
No worries. Bella, they keep you supplied with everything you could possibly need, and lots of musical like sheets, with ready for in case you want to compose, and tuning for your instruments and whatever else you might need as well. And of course, Akiri, they give you the best wine and these lovely little nooks and corners to pray in. There is they don't really have a chapel in the tower, but they do kind of find a place for you. Well, Akiri's mom in-game is, also likes to check in on her daughter, so. Hi there. Say hi to the Twitch audience. Life is easy. Life is good. Everything you want is right there as soon as you ask for it. All you have to do is show up to dinner. Another wonderful dinner every single night, and meals throughout the day. The other guests, unless you go looking for them, you don't necessarily interact with them all that much. The guy in the hood, Liam, he introduces himself eventually. He avoids contact with you, or anyone, really. And he just seems always grumpy, no matter how many times... Aerie tries to call him out to be more friendly, in a teasing kind of way. The two people with the half kind of metal faces, they continue their research very intensely. The half-orc. No, the orc? I can't remember if he's a full orc or a half-orc.
I think it was a half.
The half-orc named Rennick, who's very good-looking. As they all are.
Right.
He seems to, research maps. He's looking at maps a lot. You notice he's also in the practice room quite often, Bref, with you, and he just kind of just pounds it out, works on all the muscles, and
that's some good technique.
Thank you. Same to you, friend. It's an excellent practice room, best I've ever had.
I like that we can break everything, and then it fixes itself.
Marvelous. My family would love this place.
Do they also like to break things?
Oh, yes. Orcs love breaking things.
They sound like wonderful people.
Well, some of them anyway.
And he cuts the head off of the practice dummy and tackles it to the ground with a full body check.
Pleases you again. Name's Reddick.
Well, I'm Bref. I came in with the flying ship.
Very nice. Very nice. I haven't seen it, but that's pretty interesting.
I can show you if you want.
Oh, well, sure, sometime. Practicing right now.
Sounds like a plan.
Well, the two of you tear it up in the practice room, the training room, and life is pretty good. Occasionally, you are, well, after that initial kind of task, Aerie doesn't seem to have a pressing need for you to do anything, but does seem to enjoy just having you around, your company. And time slides on by.
I'm sure nothing sinister is going on outside that we need to worry about. Yeah, I think at one dinner, I'm gonna say, look, this has been great and all, and it's been good to get a chance to relax, especially after we went through in the desert, but don't we have places to be? Is there like certain doom coming that we need to address?
I mean, yeah. Just sort of relaxing and I don't know. I haven't had a chance to sit and think by myself, honestly, since I met any of you.
That's fair.
I'm just worried that if we spend too much time sitting and relaxing, we may not have, well, what we were expecting to come back to left.
You said you say this at a dinner?
Yes.
Okay. Just anything else, or just any dinner?
Yeah, I mean, I would say after that first week of downtime, after I've really kind of, I've fallen into the routine of, get up and work out and rest and work out some more, and it's starting to dawn on me that I'm not really doing anything.
The guests who have been here a while, especially Liam, kind of give you a funny look. Like, and Aerie kind of turns toward you and she says, My dear sweet summer child, you are doing very important work right now.
By destroying your training dummies?
Well, yes. You know that's no trouble at all, right? No, of course. You're working on yourself. Oh my goodness. You can't be running around trying to save the world every day. You've got to relax and rest and have good company once in a while. My goodness. When you all came in here, you're such a bedraggled, stressed out, terrified lot. And we're still working on that dragon magic, Brent, aren't we? Don't think I haven't noticed that you've got one too.
It's just we have friends out there. We have friends who may be in real danger that's only gonna grow with each passing day. And if we're here and we could have done something to stop it and we don't, I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm sure you've got very pressing matters at hand. Of course you do, and you'll get to them. But, lad, you've got to do some self-care once in a while. We're going to give you a makeover. I've just decided tomorrow, after you've had a good long sleep, we are going to give you a makeover. No more of this scraggly beard and hair and... Do you know I can see your body hair when you work out and you sweat through your... We need to change your look, man. And after that, you'll be much happier. You'll suddenly... I know it. You're going to let go of this need to be stressed. This desire to worry about things. Just let things take care of themselves for a little while. You don't have to be the hero every minute of every day. Get up a hero. Brush your teeth a hero. Go to bed a hero. No. Just let the little old world worry about itself for just a short time, and then, when you're rested and your best self, well then, off you go and do all the hero things that you need to do, and you'll be so much the better for it. And we're giving you a makeover tomorrow. And I won't take no for an answer, alright?
Can we leave after the makeover?
Well, sweetheart, if you want to. But... nothing I'm saying getting through to you.
I'm worried about our friends.
Well, are you worried about... Haven't you made some friends in here too?
Yeah, but they're not in danger.
Well, I'm in danger of, being lonely. And I'm in danger of worrying about you. I've come to like you very much over the last week or two. And I can't have you gallivanting off until you're good and rested and relaxed.
I think I see what you're saying now, and I really do think a makeover would feel nice.
Good. And not only that, after that, we'll talk about some things you can do for me to help work off your debt. I can see that it's possible to have too much rest and you get a bit bored. So we're going to keep those idle hands busy. And that goes for anyone who is feeling rested and ready for it. Of course,
Many of you have been through a terrible ordeal, and you are excused. But if you're feeling up to it, I'm going to ask anyone that can to help me out with a few things. And when I say help me out with a few things, they are important, and a few of them are dangerous. Alright?
Down.
Alright, so how do you guys want to make over breath? She will listen to your suggestions. But basically, it starts out with a full massage and manicure and pedicure from some of the many faceless servants.
My God.
I know, so many options.
Also, anyone who wishes can make an intelligence check.
I'd like to.
Yeah, I'll do that.
This is a bad idea for Kiri, but sure.
Smartest person in the world, but I'll try it.
Well, that's a natural one.
Okay.
Kind of 11.
Is that
That's a 4.
an intelligence check?
Yep. An unnatural one.
And Mavra got a 14.
Well, you rolled for Mavra, who's not here.
Yeah.
And she got the highest.
So she gonna keep it to herself.
She keeps her own counsel.
I mean, I feel like that's in character.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they cut your nails, they cut your hair, and then Stray starts styling it. And she's like, what should we do? Maybe we should give him maybe we should give him a more exciting hairstyle. How would you like to have a mohawk?
What's a mohawk?
Well, I'll show you. And the servant's the hairdressing servant, kind of mushes your hair up into a mohawk, and then they start dyeing it bright pink.
Is it looking good?
Yes.
They trim your eyebrows and cut your beard and start rubbing creams and oils. Now, for your new outfits, how would you like to dress? Often, along with a mohawk, you might have a kind of a dark leather look.
Oh, that would get too hot.
Well, winter is over, and it's spring now, so maybe you'd like some more spring colors.
Spring has colors?
If she puts them in florals, I'm going to die.
She starts pulling out these pastel wrappings that can kind of go over your other clothes. And she says, "Oh, who needs the explorer's outfit? Why don't you try something a little more comfortable and breathy? Here's a swooping V-neck chemise
that we can put on you. What will make you feel the most comfortable?
I don't know. I've kind of always just worn what was given to me.
Well,
would stand up to a strong, salty breeze.
to make a long story short, Stray has a very, as you've already seen from what she wears, a very flamboyant sense of style. So she sets you up, Bref, with a set of outfits that are equally loud and practically scream queer barbarian.
For the straight barbarian.
Exactly.
No. I mean, Bella, you know nice things. Does this look nice?
It's a look. That's such a what tone are you trying to strike?
Relaxed. That's what we're here for, to be as relaxed as possible.
Well, it does look comfortable. So, you know what? You're nailing it, Brav. You look amazing.
Oh, great! This is so good. Thank you, Ari. This is perfect.
Of course. Well, it was my pleasure. Now, I do have some other things to attend to. But why don't you take the rest of today and tomorrow and really get a feel for your new digs, your new outfit. And then I've got some tasks for you. You see, I have a rat problem. And I'm going to need you to kill at least 10 of them.
I think we can do that.
Wonderful. Well, put on your best rat catcher outfits, or put on your regular old outfits. So I'm just kidding around. Got a bit excited about the makeover. Just get your you'll find all your things have been cleaned and taken care of. Nothing's been allowed to rust or lose its sharp edge. But I'm going to need you to take care of these rather large rats. But
Burdens of unusual size.
they are indeed ROUSs. She speaks in everyone's minds. Right, in a couple of days, I'm going to need you to take care of some rodents. A magical rodent problem. That we're going to have to keep them from getting to some of the grain stores. And then, if you do a good job on that, I'd like your help with some arcane matters on the top floor, on the observation deck. But until then, everyone, please stay in good training. That's very important. And enjoy yourselves. So, Bref, with your new look, you strike quite the figure at the dinner the following night, at which Ari does not attend.
Bref is all smiles and jovial feasting.
Excellent.
Well, I think that I'd like to try and have an audience or conversation or whatever with Ari at her convenience. Not
Okay.
terribly urgent, but just, when she has a few minutes to talk.
Okay. Before the rat task.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So a few days later, you're thoroughly washed and rested, and you kind of you catch her at a dinner or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I say, well, I wanted to take the time to express how greatly I appreciate everything that you've been doing for us. This was a rest that was sorely needed by everybody, and I can't thank you enough for taking us in.
She says, of course. But why do I feel like you're about to say but?
Well, the thing is...
Before you continue, I just want to say your company has been an absolute delight. Every single one of you, from your close-knit group of adventurers to all of the folk you've freed from slavery. What an amazing bunch of characters and interesting lives everyone has led. I have been absolutely overjoyed talking and just spending time with y'all, or having you be in my home and well taken care of. It's been an absolute joy.
Well, thank you. I feel the same, and I would be absolutely delighted to come back here, as often as you'll have me. Honestly, the only reason that I'm concerned is that I have a previous engagement, which I wouldn't necessarily prioritize, except that it happens to be seeing my parents for the first time in several years. Not too far from here, but I'd very much like to make sure that I make it, which means that unfortunately I will probably have to take my leave soon.
Parents. Would you say you're a bit estranged from them?
Oh no. Actually, we're quite close. It's just my father tends to travel a lot, and so do I, and it's rare we find ourselves on the same coast, so we've made a plan to meet up.
Oh, I see. A previous appointment.
Exactly. My mother is putting on a performance not too far from here that's being sponsored by some of the local nobility, and so since she'll be in town for a few weeks for the rehearsals and the performance and everything, we're all going to be there to sort of have a little family reunion.
Right. But would you say that these performances are they annual or?
No, this is actually specifically commissioned for a recent event, in honor of a political occasion.
Right. Of course, whatever you need. But you just want to be able to see the performance and or possibly talk to your father.
Yes.
So you don't need to be physically present, and I only ask because well, I got a few things that need doing, and it's just we've just got such a good rhythm going. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
My father tends to be a little proprietary of his divination magic.
Oh, is he one of those difficult people?
proprietary with his magic. I've never understood that. A spellcaster should cast spells! I mean, look at this place. Of course it takes a lot of maintaining over the years. I can't be lazy. There's things to do every single day. There's lots to be done all the time. But why hang on to your spells in this miserly fashion? That's one of the things I used to argue about all the time with my sisters and oh boy. That was a real problem back in the old days, is everyone wanted to hang on to their own magic. I never understood, why can't we all be sharing in the benefits of someone who has a bit of power, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, certainly. I think that my father would agree as well. It's just he tends to, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if you knew him, actually. Considering that you tend to hobnob with people who enjoy a bit of light research.
Oh?
Yes. Eldan and Doral, the great bard of tragedy.
Right. Yes. The current great bard of tragedy. I had forgotten that young chickadee was still hopping about, writing his tragedies.
Among other things, yeah. He's actually writing the play that my mother's going to be performing, so... Oh, these kinds of things, they're never...
Well, he should visit! Oh, yes, I would certainly love it. If your father would come and visit me, do you think he'd like it here?
I am sure he would. You know what? If you can get him to come here, that would satisfy a lot of the reasons why I'm going on this visit.
Wonderful. Well, when you're supposed to meet him, would you say he'd be more receptive to messages?
As far as I know, yes.
Excellent.
I can...
Well then, in that case, we'll let's talk over the next couple of weeks about exactly what message we'll send him. I have magic that I can use to send messages, as I believe your friend does as well.
Yes.
But we can use mine if she's unwilling, although I don't know why she would be. But I'll help you compose an invitation. Yes, we'll compose an invitation, and perhaps I can offer him some travel assistance as well, and we'll see if we can get Eldan, the current great bard of tragedy, to the floating obelisk.
Well, that sounds wonderful.
Wonderful.
The problem is that I don't know exactly where he is. And most of our communication...
Well, that doesn't matter for sending spells. That doesn't matter at all. In fact, if even if he is, I don't know, behind some kind of veil, the veil between planes, what have you, if Ak-Iri, the marvelous Aarakocra's god, Zhuark, can't help you out, well then, I have magic that can penetrate most of those sorts of things, and it does not matter one whit where he is. We will get in touch with your father. So, think over the next few days about exactly what would get the current great bard of tragedy to join us in
our tower here, and we will compose it together and send it off and see what he says. And as I said, I can help with transportation if need be.
Excellent. I will probably have a message ready tomorrow.
Wonderful. Well, I might be busy tomorrow, and then we've got to deal with the rat thing. Don't forget. But,
right. Yes.
And I've got some other little tasks, but we will do it in due time, and we won't miss the chance to send him a message when he's most receptive during this performance, etc. All right. Well, I've got some other things to attend to, but drink up, and we'll talk more anon.
Wonderful. And I'll go and sit back down with my friends. And I'll sort of like lean in and like pull everyone in for a huddle. And when I've got everybody's attention, I'm going to say, we're fucked.
Okay, so this is a huddle of just the party?
Akiri, Equitas, Bref, and Mabra.
Okay. Ari has left the dining hall at this moment. But that does attract a little attention that you guys are kind of circling up, and doing a huddle so only you can hear each other.
I'm sorry, Bella, we're what?
Completely fucked. We need to get out of here.
Okay.
Look, I have been trying a lot of different things to try and scare this lady. And none of it really seems to work. Which means that at this point, the fact that she wants us to stay so badly, it's more than a little bit alarming. I just tried to tell her that I need to go visit my parents in the city and then I'll come back afterwards, and she's fighting me pretty hard on it. But she's also fighting me pretty hard on helping me get in touch with my parents immediately. And that makes me think that she's just going to keep putting it off forever, and I'm not okay with that because I frankly don't know if my father is dead or alive. Plus, she had some really specific and terrifying things to say about him being like beyond a veil that only the gods and her can penetrate. And I don't know if that was like something that she was just making up or if that's something she knows, but either way, I did not like that conversation at all. We're in a lot of trouble and we need to go.
I think I got the gist of that, but you were talking really fast. Okay.
And you've had a lot of wine in game.
Right.
Why, I sure don't know what you're talking about, Bella. Everything's been great here. We need to get out of here right now.
I mean, I'll freely admit that you look amazing, but other than that, we pretty much need to leave with all of your new.
I appreciate you admitting that I look amazing. It's true.
Anytime. Really.
Yeah, I haven't felt right about this place from the beginning. We need to go.
Yeah, but,
It's gonna be hard.
How?
I don't know. I mean, surely it's not going to be as easy as us just walking out. And we do owe her the whole situation with the rats, and I don't know. We're going to have to come up with something. But it's going to take some planning. She's not stupid.
No.
I think it's pretty safe. I think we should probably assume that she could probably hear us anywhere that she wants to, if she wanted to.
Also
hear
fair.
us.
Yeah, true. I mean, she can talk inside our minds, so that's pretty invasive.
She's got these faceless things, and you know they're everywhere, and they're listening all the time. Not to mention other kinds of spells where she would be able to eavesdrop whenever she wanted to.
One clears your plate.
I mean, the thing is, I really do like it here. And I really do want to come back. I just also want to make sure that my parents are okay. What's is interesting to me is that you'd think that after all of the time we've spent here and all that she wants to get to know us and all of the magic that she has at her disposal, she didn't really seem to know very much about me. And that makes me feel like she might have some blind spots that are maybe affecting this whole situation. We just have to figure out what they are and how to work with them.
Do you think I can just hit things a lot?
We'll definitely work that into the plan.
Okay, good. I'm on board then.
I don't even know who. I don't know that we can trust anybody besides ourselves. And I don't even know where to start looking for a way out of here. And I mean, if we did start to look, I mean, that would be obvious.
Why would we not go out to the docks?
I mean, there's that, and I mean, Kiri could fly, but I don't know about the rest of us.
Yes, but maybe we could figure something out. I mean, it's not unheard of. I'm just saying that that's the only real egress that I've seen here.
Yeah. We could steal a ship, but she could probably make that ship fall out of the sky at a thought.
I don't want to give her any reason to feel that we owe her anything.
Yeah.
The worst offense that I'm willing to commit is taking our leave more abruptly than she would prefer.
What about everybody else?
If people want to leave, then I can try to help, but it's up to them. Maybe some people would rather stay and enjoy. I mean, it's not a bad life, and I like it here, except that I need to go make sure that my father isn't, dying. But I can see people being very happy to stay here.
Imagine Orinar and the others that we rescued, they like the safety.
Exactly. I mean, after being slaves, to have a place where nobody can find you and nobody can hunt you down and you're provided with your every whim there's far worse places to live.
Yeah. Why though? Why does she want us to stay? I mean,
You've been alive for more than 1,000 years. I'm Guessing the reason you do anything is probably a little beyond what we're used to understanding.
Yes, I would agree with that.
I wonder if we could find out if Stray knows her.
Ooh, I can message her.
She's related to her, says someone who was eavesdropping. You look up, and over, having quietly edged up during this conversation,
Roguey boy.
is Liam. His black hood has fallen back over his shoulders. And for the first time ever, you see him smiling as he eavesdrops on your conversation. But that's not the thing that catches your eye. What really, as Bella kind of turns and looks at him, there's something off, and you can't figure out what it is at first. But it does eventually strike you that his skin has taken on a slightly grayish pallor. And his smile seems a little sad. And I think with that, we are going to have to call it for tonight.
Well, that's a way to end the session.
One more thing. If you check the calendar, you will see that it has been updated. As none of you really
Youch!
had a sense of how much time was really passing.
Holy smokes!
But it has passed. The great convocation in the town of 1,000 steeples that Mavra was supposed to attend, decided not to go, passed by on the 29th. Mariko began. Something happened at the Standing Stones that Krim told you about.
Oh, crap.
Krim's birthday occurred
Oh.
on the 10th. And it is now the 14th of Mariko. Happy Success Day, everybody.
If that's what you want to call it.
Feels super successful.
Good night, and thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed your time in the Enchanted Tower. We will pick up from there next week for another awesome session of the Wildlands. Well played, everybody. That was a very interesting session, I think.
Yeah.
A good night and a thank you very much to Jeremy, player of Breath, M, player of Akiri,
And congratulations, Em. Paul, player of Equitas, and Kirsten, player of Bella. I hope Maver, player of sorry, I got that backwards. I started out backwards. Maver, player of Danielle.
Nope.
I know. I hope she feels better next week and can rejoin us. And we're hoping that Haley, player of Crim, can come back, having missed her birthday, in a session soon. So, until next time, thank you all very, very much for playing in the Wildlands campaign. Good night. Have a great week. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.